All right, everybody have a seat. Moving along in the state of Ohio versus Lindsay Partin, jurors are back. Ladies and gentlemen, any issues to address? Very good. Ms. Howard, you may proceed to redirect, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lindsay, State's Exhibit 158. Is this every conversation you've ever had with your husband, T.J. Smith?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you talk to him?
Constantly.
Okay. So you would agree with me that these text messages that Ms. Sheehan has pointed out aren't supplemented by videos of you and your husband kissing and hugging, correct?
No.
Or supplemented with the intimacy of a husband and wife, correct?
No.
And I'm going to ask the question because she presented it that way.
Okay.
From March 5th to March 8th, are you kissing your husband?
Yes.
Are you having intimate relationships with your husband?
Yes.
Do these text messages fairly depict what's going on between you and TJ?
No.
Do you guys text about that? I mean, did you keep a record of, hey, we had sex today?
No.
I'm going to point out a couple different things. I'm going to hand you back 158. Ms. Sheehan asked you about your miscarriage in February. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Bad time?
Of course.
Would you expect not to feel bad about it?
I wouldn't expect anyone not to feel bad about it.
Page 517. In the middle of the page, she pointed to and had you, I don't know if she read it or you read it, that I have a dead baby on my belly.
Yeah.
That's a hard text to write, right?
Yes.
Do you see the text that you send to him on February 12th at 8:38:35 a.m., which is 5 from the bottom? Starts with the word started bleeding.
Yes.
What does that say?
Started bleeding and in pain. I'm going to have to stay off Facebook because 5 people have announced their pregnancies in the last 2 days. Sucks.
And what was TJ's response on that same day at 8:49:37 a.m.?
I'm sorry, baby. I'll be home soon as I can. Call if you need me.
And what did you say to him? I'm sorry, he responds again to you, is that correct?
Call you in 2 seconds.
So you must have had a conversation at some point?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to direct your attention to page 529.
Okay.
About halfway in the page, 7, which is 2 down from the one with attachments. Do you see that? On 3/5/2018 at 9:02:11 p.m.
Yes.
What's he say to you?
I totally get you, but you intensify it.
Is that something that he would argue about? I'm going to be mean. You would bitch at him,
Yes.
and he would sweet talk you.
Yes.
Page 530.
Yes.
I believe it's the second one down from the top from TJ. Starts with I touched.
Yep.
What day is that on?
3/6/2018 at 8:34 and 12 seconds p.m.
And what did he say to you?
You touched a lot of good points, which is good. Help me do both instead of bitching. You always demand I do. You always demand I do. You help me do us.
Sweet talking you.
Yes.
And towards the bottom on that same page, 3 from the bottom,
Yes.
you see his text to you.
Yes.
What's it say?
I wish I could send a documentary of our text to a psychologist. Want to start a new business doing that? Then we could write off our help. Smiley face. Grow up, I love you. and us, and I do best I can. I hope you see that. Come hang out.
And then what does he say right after that at 9:33 p.m.?
Relationship help on Everybody Loves Raymond right now. ... Please, question mark.
Page 532.
Yes.
In the middle, there's an attachment, so the text message right before that.
Yes.
What's he say to you?
You make that pick. Get it? Question mark. I love you, sweet dreams.
And the next text from him,
Which was it go?
right below that,
With the picture?
below the picture.
Oh, I love you though.
Do you see the text 2 down from there that you send to him?
Yes.
You're complaining about the toilet paper roll.
Yes.
Typical fight there?
Yes.
Your husband came down to the police station, Butler County Sheriff's Department on March 8th, didn't he?
Yes.
Tried to get you, didn't know why you were there, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan asked you a question about something Paula Smith allegedly said that she didn't testify to. Do you remember those questions?
I do.
Was Paula Smith telling the truth that you were on some type of benefits and that's why you didn't get married?
No.
What was the problem with getting married? With the certificate in the state of Ohio?
His uncle forgot it on our ceremony day, and then we left on a cruise for a week. And when we got back, it just wasn't something that was important, and we just didn't do it.
Did you have fights about a prenup?
In the beginning, way before the wedding.
And was Paula Smith telling the truth about cleaning your house when you were at Fort Hamilton Hospital?
No.
And we saw those pictures?
Yes.
You stated, and I'm going to use a quote, "I was under the assumption he'd back me up." Do you remember that
Yes.
answer you gave?
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Objection, Your Honor.
Approach. Ms. Howard, repeat the question.
Lindsay, on cross-examination, you made the statement, "I was under the assumption he'd back me up."
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Jason would back me up.
And why did you think Jason was going to back you up?
Because at the hospital, Children's Hospital, we had a conversation.
And he told you what?
Objection.
Let's approach. All right, pursuant to a side door, the objection will be sustained. Ms. Howard, if you wish to try to rephrase the question. Go ahead.
Yes. Ms. Sheehan asked you about your belief that you could physically discipline Hannah. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
And you said you had such a belief. Is that correct?
Yes.
Without telling me who said it, what was your belief based upon?
That I was allowed to.
And who did you talk to?
Objection asked and answered. She's already given an answer.
No, she didn't give an answer. She didn't. She specifically didn't.
Can we approach her?
Ms. Howard, proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Sheehan asked you about your belief that you could physically discipline Hannah. Do you remember that line of questions?
Yes.
And you had a conversation with Jason Wesche
Yes.
at Children's Hospital?
Yes.
And without saying what he told you, is that what your belief is based upon, that you could poke her in the chest?
Yes.
Objection leading.
Sorry, I'll rephrase
It
it.
is leading.
I
Yes, go ahead,
apologize.
rephrase.
I'll rephrase. Based upon your conversation with Jason, what did you believe you could tell the detectives?
Discipline.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Discipline, that I disciplined her.
Did TJ's drinking have anything to do with the charges that are made here today?
No, ma'am.
Did TJ's drinking and your fighting by text have anything to do with the charges that you have here today?
No, ma'am.
Did Smith Corp possibly moving to another location have anything to do with the charges here today?
No.
And did you commit these offenses?
No.
The prosecutor asked you about shaking. Do you remember that question? Why did you believe that that was okay?
I didn't say that I shook her heart, I don't believe, but shaking like, it'll be okay. I didn't think that that was anything wrong.
No further questions?
Recross, Ms. Sheehan?
One
And
moment,
take,
Your
if you
Honor.
need a moment, take your time. You may proceed whenever.
Thank you. Ma'am, you were in this room when we watched your interview, correct? The second interview?
Yes.
Safe to say that was a 4-hour interview.
Very long.
2 hours probably where there was actual content,
Yes.
and 2 hours where you were sitting there.
Yes.
And at some point they came in and told you that you were going to be charged criminally.
Yes.
And then you sat for quite some time after that.
Yes.
And ma'am, when you were, I think it was Detective Turner came to you and said, you know, you ready to go? And you said, not really. Is that right?
Yes.
That entire time you were sitting in that room, and when detectives came to get you, not once did you say, hey, wait a second, Jason told me to say this. Did you, ma'am?
No, I didn't think that I could say anything else.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ma'am, you may step down and sit there with your attorney.
Do you want this back?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't say watch your step also. Ms. Howard or Mr. Pagan, next witness?
The next witness is the videotape deposition of Dr. Spitz.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do, I know we just come back from a restroom break. If you won't need to stand up, stretch, whatever. This next testimony is about 2 hours and 5 minutes long. It's the video deposition. Ms. Wilson is going to need to set this up on our computer here. I will tell you in advance, there's maybe 2 or 3 portions where because of some evidentiary rulings, it'll kind of mute out. You won't hear sound, but you might see lips moving. This is going to be subject to the same instructions that you're going to get in general. There are just certain things that maybe I can't let you hear. You are not to wonder why. You're not to wonder what that might have been. So if you see that, first of all, please don't assume it's a technological issue. Not that we ever have those, but you know. And second, you're not to wonder and ask and think and what's going on here and whatever. Okay. So with that, if you guys want to take a few minutes, stretch, talk, whatever, Ms. Wilson, if you would hook this up, please.